This is Story Recapped. Today, I'm going to explain a drama, mystery, and sci-fi show called Black Mirror, White Bear. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. After seeing a series of glitching scenes with a recurring symbol, Victoria wakes up with a painful headache. She notices bandages on both wrists and the symbol from her dream on the television. Below her are two bottles of pills scattered on the carpet, though she has no recollection of what happened. Outside, she sees an empty playground with no signs of people around. After turning off the television, she checks around the house and sees another television showing the same symbol in the living room. Quickly, the woman heads to the kitchen to drink water and sees a marked calendar. In the living room, she sees a picture of herself and a man, with another picture of a little girl attached to it. Seeing her face triggers a memory, but it causes a painful headache. Still confused, Victoria takes a coat and a pair of shoes laid out in the living room and pockets the picture of the little girl. She then heads out, noting the eerie quietness of the area. She notices several people watching her from the windows of the other houses while holding up their phones. She asks for help as she can't remember anything, but instead, she finds a lady taking a photo of her from around the fence. Victoria chases after her, but the lady heads into another house. More people watch the confused woman through their windows while holding their phones as if recording her plight. A car suddenly arrives, and out comes a man wearing a ski mask with the same symbol in her dreams. The man takes a gun from the trunk, then aims it at Victoria, so she flees. Onlookers appear everywhere, recording the event on their phones, but they don't offer any help, nor does the man pay attention to them. Breathlessly crying for help, Victoria continues running until she arrives at a gas station, where she spots a young woman named Jam filling up a car. Seeing her, Jam tells her companion that they have to leave, but the man with the ski mask starts shooting, flattening their wheel. Jam's companion, Damien, exits the convenience store but sees the man with the gun, so he hides back inside and Jam joins him. They try to block Victoria from entering, but she still gets in. They barricade the door just as the armed man and the onlookers arrive. Damien spots a back door, but Jem points out that there's a keypad, so it must be locked. Victoria panics, seeing that more onlookers simply record them on their phones instead of helping. Jem orders her to get the fire extinguisher behind her. Despite her fears, the woman gets the fire extinguisher and rolls it to Jem. The woman then orders Damien and Victoria to steal the man's gun if he breaks in, while she breaks down the lock at the back door. Finally, the man with the gun breaks the glass door and climbs in. Damien tackles him down while Victoria hides. Jem breaks down the back door and Victoria immediately runs with her, leaving Damien to the armed man. Hiding behind a dumpster, the two women watch Damien climb out of the back door with a gunshot wound on his stomach. He collapses and the armed man exits. The onlookers spill out of the store and take pictures of Damien's body. The symbol on the man's mask triggers Victoria's memory of being in a car with the man and little girl. With the armed man distracted, Jem hurries her to leave, but another car appears, so they hide behind garbage bins. A woman with an electric knife exits the car, followed by a man with a baseball bat. Jem calls them hunters who like to scare people. Spotting a broken fence, Jem and Victoria run inside and rush into a house. Jem stops Victoria from looking out the window as onlookers sometimes watch from the other houses and could tell the hunters their location. The panicked woman recounts how she woke up with no memory. She shows Jem the picture of the little girl, whom she thinks is her daughter. Noticing her bandaged wrists, Jem assumes that Victoria tried to kill herself, and she agrees as she remembers the pills around her. Jen laments that many have tried to kill themselves since everything started. She explains that there were signals sending flashing pictures on every television and computer. Victoria recalls this as the symbol she saw in her dreams and on the television when she woke up. Before they can continue, onlookers appear, so they hide behind a couch. Jem continues that the signal turned almost everyone into onlookers who only watch and film things but don't care about what happens. Some weren't affected for unknown reasons, but a few became hunters as they realized they could do whatever they wanted. Jem pulls out a map and plots to head south where TV transmitters were already destroyed. Before they reach the safe zone, they need to pass another transmitter in White Bear and destroy it. The name White Bear triggers Victoria's memory of recording a video of her daughter playing. Seeing her having a panic attack, Jem tells the woman to pull it together. However, Victoria steps out and starts yelling at the onlookers. She throws a brick at one of them, causing the man to drop his phone while running away. Jem takes a taser from her bag and threatens Victoria with it. She orders her to put the phone down, warning her that looking at the screen might affect her like it did the onlookers. Still, Victoria takes a peek and recalls when she called her daughter Jemima. She also remembers sitting in her car while watching something burning in the woods. This causes her a splitting headache, but the hunters arrive, so she and Jem run. They get blocked by a van and the driver offers them a ride. However, Victoria hesitates, so Jem pulls her inside just before the hunters catch them. As they're driving away, Victoria recognizes the driver, Baxter, but she can't remember how she knows him. Jem tells Baxter that they're heading south, but he warns her that it's all blocked up there, so he refuses to drive them there. Instead, he suggests a different safe place. Before he can say where, Victoria correctly guesses that his safe place is in the woods. She then predicts that they'll get out, talk, and eat as it'll be safe for a while. Later in the woods, Baxter points out that there's no signal, so they won't be found. He notices Victoria looking at Jemima's picture, but she admits that she doesn't know where she is. When she insists that she can't remember anything, Baxter concludes that she has a mysterious mental illness. He then asks Jem what her weakness is, but she brushes him off. Baxter scoffs, concluding that the two are weak and vulnerable, so they're easy pickings for the hunters. Offended, Victoria asks what his weakness is, so Baxter heads into his van to show her. Suddenly, he comes out with a gun. Jem tries to run, but he threatens to shoot, so she stops. He orders Victoria to put on a ski mask with the symbol backward to cover her eyes. Then he directs her to put her hands on Jem's shoulders to guide her in walking. He then places his shotgun against the woman's back, threatening that he can kill them both with only one shot. With that, he directs them on where to go. A while later, Baxter orders Jem to remove Victoria's mask, revealing that they've stopped at an area with noosed roofs and dead bodies hanging by the trees. As onlookers appear, Baxter then orders the women to kneel and tosses Jem's bag away. Suddenly, his phone rings, so he answers the call, allowing Jem to run. He notices her too late, so he misses her when he tries to shoot. Not bothering to chase her, Baxter focuses on Victoria, ordering her to put her hands on a log so he can tie her up. Putting his gun down, he laughs as he prepares a show for their audience. As he takes out a power drill, the woman screams for help, desperately calling out to the onlookers who simply watch her. Baxter puts the drill against her back but hears his gun behind him. Then he finds Jem, who shoots him immediately. With that, Jem releases Victoria and retrieves her bag. Victoria tearfully thanks her, but Jem clarifies that she returned for her bag. Jem then takes the van keys from Baxter's bag and leaves, urging Victoria to follow her. As they run from the scene, onlookers start recording Baxter's dead body. Reaching the van, Jem drives just before the hunters find them. By nightfall, she explains that they can shut down the transmitter in White Bear by burning the control room. She shows Victoria a drawing of her plans from her bag, noting that she'd been planning to shut the transmitters for a while. Passing by an onlooker on the road, Victoria remembers telling Jemima to lie down on the car floor just before passing by a police car. She also recalls being shackled as she screams, so Victoria orders Jem to turn back. She warns them she's starting to remember that there's something wrong in White Bear, but Jem reminds her that she said something about the woods too. Given what happened to them there, she doesn't trust Victoria's hunches. They soon arrive at the White Bear facility, and as Jem arranges things for their mission, Victoria recalls watching her husband taking Jemima from the car. He then set something on fire in the woods while Victoria sat in the car. Jem finally opens the gates, so she pulls the woman in as her memories continue filling her mind. She recalls a man having the symbol tattooed on the back of his neck, and this scares her. Still, she joins Jem inside, who notices that there are surveillance cameras everywhere. Thinking that the hunters and onlookers will arrive soon, Jem leads the woman inside a building, and they quickly find the control room. As Jem starts turning things off, Victoria finds screens with the symbol. Jem starts pouring petrol all over the machine, but before she lights it on fire, the hunters arrive. The woman with the knife knocks the lighter off her hands and cuts her in the arm. As Jem struggles for her life, Victoria steals the gun from the other hunter and aims it at him. She pulls the trigger and confetti comes out of the barrel. Suddenly, the machine behind her opens like a door, revealing an audience cheering for the show. The hunters and Jem then sit her down on a chair and shackle her to it. Victoria just looks around, utterly confused, while Damien joins them on the stage, bowing with the rest. All suited up as the host, Baxter arrives and addresses the audience. He then turns Victoria's chair to present her a screen showing her photo from her previous life, along with the man she assumed was her husband. Baxter reveals that the man was her fiancé, Ian Rannoch. The screen then plays a news report about Victoria and Ian abducting the little girl, Jemima Sykes. Her disappearance prompted a nationwide search, and the only lead was Jemima's white teddy bear that was discovered near her family's home. The white bear became a symbol for her search, which ended when Jemima's body was found in a forest. The young girl was wrapped in a sleeping bag and burned to death. Victoria and Ian were arrested after the video of Jemima's torturous death was found in Victoria's phone. Ian, who had the odd symbol tattooed on the back of his neck, was discovered to have set the girl on fire while Victoria recorded the events. Victoria claimed that her fiancé pressured her into doing it as she was under his spell. However, the judge and the jury weren't convinced and accused her of relishing the little girl's anguish. Ian hanged himself in his cell, thus evading his punishment. Because of this, the public focused their outrage on Victoria. Victoria cries helplessly as she watches the news report, unable to believe her past. Baxter scolds her for crying crocodile tears while the audience boos her and calls her a murderer. Baxter then berates Victoria as she didn't cry when Ian burned the little girl. Instead, she watched and filmed everything. He then asks how she likes being the one who suffered while others watched. Victoria can only cry as the audience continues to film her and call her a murderer. After a while, Baxter orders men to carry Victoria out. Soon, Baxter excites the audience as they approach the program's finale. He encourages them to take as many photos and record as many videos as they can, as long as Victoria can hear that they're all out there watching her. They then present Victoria in a glass cage at the back of a van. Baxter parades her as the people cry out their hate and rage, throwing sponges that leave red blood streaks on the glass. Arriving at the first location, the men then carry Victoria back into the house where she woke up earlier. She weeps and begs for death, but Baxter laughs as it's what she always says. Instead, he sets up the room, spilling the pills at her feet and switching the television on. He then attaches a device to her temples, noting that it'll take 30 minutes to work. While they wait, he makes her watch the videos she took of Jemima, reminding her to enjoy it since she filmed them. Suddenly, the device beeps, and Victoria screams in pain as the device erases her memory. Baxter simply exits the room as his crew sets up the house, fixing it up so she can do everything the same way tomorrow. While her screams echo throughout the house, the men leave, and Baxter marks the calendar for tomorrow. The following day, the crew opens up the White Bear Justice Park to welcome the day's tourists. Before they begin, Baxter and the actors discuss the program's rules, which include no talking, keeping their distance, and enjoying the show. He insists that they must make Victoria believe they're all mesmerized, which the guests laugh at. Jem adds that Victoria managed to throw a projectile at a guest, and if that happens again, she assures them that all actors are equipped with tasers to keep Victoria in check. However, doing so might cost them the entire day, so it's best to keep their distance. With that, the program starts. Victoria wakes up in the room, not knowing that there are cameras everywhere. The guests then become the onlookers while Jem and Damien have coffee at the gas station, waiting for their cue. Baxter also portrays the man with the ski mask and starts chasing Victoria. As Jem and Victoria leave Damien gets up and jokes to the guests that he was convincing as a dying man. Actors also climb on the ladders to pretend to be the dead bodies in the woods. The program continues with the big reveal, Victoria being paraded to the angry audience and her memory getting painfully erased so that she could start it all over again the next day.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.